Welcome back to Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Daniel Hood Roofing. Bob Hodge, I'm going to ask you, your mother recently had 3 new roofs put on her property, correct?
Correct.
Who did you go with?
Went with Daniel Hood.
Grade the sales process for me.
The sales process was actually enjoyable, so it's an A.
Grade the quality of work.
It's an A.
Was the work done on time?
It was done very well and on time. Matter of fact, quicker than I would have ever expected.
And did it meet our budget?
Yes, it definitely.
We trust them. You can too. Daniel Hood Roofing, folks. That's who we turn to, and we would vouch for him, and we are vouching for him. Bob Hodge, very happy with him. I can tell you, next new roof I've got on my house is going to be Daniel Hood Roofing. Check them out, danielhoodroofing.com this week. All right, this week, BYU announced that they had reached agreements with a sponsor via the name, image, likeness stuff that's gone on. And that sponsor will cover the cost of tuition for each of their football walk-ons for at least 1 year. All 123 players in the Cougar team can take part. Scholarship players can make $1,000 extra from the protein bar company, whereas the 36 walk-ons were offered the amount to what amounted to privately funded scholarships, basically. But the players will be paid directly, and they can use the cash for whatever they want, but it's going to be enough to where it covers their tuition. Is this a great story where you get the little guy being taken care of? Or is this one of those Wild West awful stories where, what about the 85-man scholarship limits? That no longer counts, apparently, if you can get them privately funded. And the first thought I posted, if you give me the choice between this and $1 million quarterback, I'm for taking care of the walk-ons. But you know, the Alabamas and the Clemson, the Ohio States, the Tennessees, if they were good, would all take advantage of this. Is this a good thing or a bad thing, gentlemen?
I'm going to jump in here and say that it is going to eventually be a good thing.
This story, the BYU story.
At BYU,
Scholarship thing.
I think it's a good thing, but I think it's going to go through some bad times.
Okay, so you like this one, but you
I
can see
like it
being
for the walk-ons. Yes, I do. I think it's fantastic for the walk-ons, but it is going to change a lot of stuff.
Vince, is this a good loophole or a bad loophole?
Well, similar, but I like the fact that the walk-ons are being taken care of, and this isn't name, image, and likeness isn't just about the star quarterbacks and everybody getting $1 million and the Wild West. They are finding ways around this, and the best schools that have the resources are going to find a way to take advantage of this story and every other name, image, and likeness example that's out there. So, yeah, you could say that those schools will use this to their advantage, but those schools are going to use everything in this to their advantage. So that's why I don't have a more specific problem with this. I like the wealth being spread.
I do too. I will say I know everybody's kind of gone with this. Is this the end of scholarship limits, of signing class limits? The only thing I'll say about that is you got to have the resources, and you've got to be able to do all of this stuff. If you're finding donors that are paying the star quarterback $1 million and all these other players money too, is there enough left to worry about adding players 86 through 120 on the roster to essentially give them scholarships? And even this doesn't provide cost of living or anything like that, right? It's just tuition, so it's not everything being covered the way a football player would have. So I don't know. To me, it's
you know what? You just brought Texas into the SEC.
Yeah.
Texas, more than any other school, will be poised to be able to do this.
They might
so
be.
Yeah, I think it's going to have an impact. I like it. It's going to have an impact, and I think it's going to be a big impact.
I think it will too. I'm just going to be interested to see, does everyone try to copy this model, or do other teams see this as not a necessity, like a good idea, but something we don't necessarily have to do to keep up?
Well, let me be clear. When I say in the tease coming into this break, is it the end of 85-man scholarship limits? I'm not saying for everybody.
Yeah.
But it is for BYU this year.
Sure.
For this year, they don't have that because all their guys are on scholarship technically. So that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
You choose to make it the end of the 85-man scholarship at Ole Miss or not, but it's a loophole that's there now until somebody closes it.
What a great way to get a guy who's on the cusp of maybe you would offer him or not to come in, and you give him a 1-year tryout for free. And if you hit, by golly, it's paid off. If not, you don't give him the money next year. He probably goes off someplace else. I think this is a bigger game-changing thing.
It might be.
Down the road.
It certainly makes a difference on the preferred walk-on kind of guy because now you can actually, if you have the money, and I'm guessing, I was surprised when I saw this that it was BYU. that doesn't seem like the kind of program that would have that level of booster ready. But the interesting thing is that's, out of state tuition is higher, but also at BYU, if you're a member of the Church of Latter-day Saints, your tuition is cut in half.
Yeah.
It's double if you're not a member of the. So, are they just bringing walk-ons in who are members of the Church of Latter-day Saints? If not, if it's somebody coming in there from way outside, they're getting a good chunk of cash. So, anyway, I thought that was interesting.
No one's, just a side thought, no one's more mad about this development than people who are not athletes in head count sports. If you're a baseball player on a 30% scholarship, how infuriating is this to you that you're you're a good player on scholarship, but these walk-ons in football are getting more than you?
Great point. My next question was going to be, what about Title IX?
Yeah.
How long, when more schools do this, how long before a female athlete says, whoa, wait a second, you're affording an opportunity to the football players that I'm not getting? Now, it's true for all these other sports, but the Title IX thing doesn't protect the baseball player. Title IX is the law of the land. It's supposed to protect the female athlete out there.
But then
and football is the 85 scholarship. That's the one that throws it all out of whack. How long before somebody says, wait a second, I'm on the rowing team. Nobody got me tuition paid for. Why aren't you working to
But
get a
then the
sponsor for me?
argument comes back, I own this company, I'll give my money to who I want to get it with. You have nothing to do with me.
free
Well,
market.
but that's the company. In terms of the school, I could see some.
Well,
I could see
okay,
an
but the
attorney.
school's not going to really control
Yeah.
these
No,
things.
BYU said they brokered this deal
Right.
with this company.
Sure. Some schools can
BYU.
help.
Oh, you're going back
announced
to
it.
just specifically BYU.
Well, if a school goes out and cuts a deal with some company
Okay,
to
gotcha.
cover all of
I
the
got
walk-ons.
the school brokering part.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just going general for the NIL
Oh yeah.
stuff.
No, I'm talking about if on the scholarship front, if a school goes out and brokers a deal with Pilot Oil to cover all the walk-ons at the University of Tennessee, somebody can say, well, at Title IX, UT didn't go offer me this tuition.
Right.
And if UT went and cut a deal where one sponsor's coming in covering all the walk-ons, they may have some legal standing there. I don't know. I'm just saying that's the kind of thing somebody will probably try.
Yeah.
But if Pilot Oil comes in and says we're going to do this for you, that would change the landscape. Of
That'd
that
be a
little bit,
Pilot
I
Oil
would
thing.
think.
They're offering
exactly.
to do it.
There you go.
John, it's a fair point, but I would say, do we know that schools haven't already helped some of those Olympic sports?
Yeah.
And haven't helped get them deals? We don't hear about everything. Not everything
No.
is public, not just at UT, but around the country. So maybe they are, it's just not getting out there publicly.
This got a lot of
Sure.
publicity.
And that's a big
That's
case
why
with football. I get it.
the-
yeah.
I was going to say something, but I'm not going to. We'll leave it. All right. I'll tell you guys why I'm not saying it. All right. When we come back, who are the best 10 players of the last decade at the University of Tennessee football program? We'll take a look at the list and the candidate list, which was going to be very short until I doctored it. Come on back.